What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is AkeemHaynes. I'm a two-time Olympian, Olympic bronze medalist, author, motivational speaker, and sports commentator. On my channel, we talk boxing, MMA, track and field, and of course, motivation and encouraging content. If this is something that you enjoy, then I hope that you subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into the video. Kazuto Ioka versus Donnie Nietes, the rematch. What do we think about this fight? I thought Donnie Nietes landed the cleaner, more eye-catching shots, but I do think Ioka was the busier fighter in that first bout. But that was then, this is now. Since that loss, Ioka hasn't lost the fight since, and that is a great sign. Not so much about the win. Yes, the wins are important in the fact that he was able to get things back on track, right? But it easily could have went the other way. Right. So it shows a lot about his character. How you respond to a loss says a lot about the person, who you are, right? Especially in the boxing ring, you have to believe that your skills are good. Maybe it was an off night, right? Regardless of the fact, you have to be able to get back up and believe that you can win. And Kazuto Ioka did that. Now, with that being said, I really like what I saw from Ioka in his last fight against Fukunaga, right? He looked quick on his feet. His hand speed was good. He was throwing good jabs. He was following it up with flurry of shots, and then he was slipping out, right? He didn't neglect the body. At times, he was the counter puncher, and I thought he countered very well in that fight. I thought he showed a good chin as well, too, because he did take some good, clean, flush shots. I thought he did a lot of good things early, but as the fight went on, I felt like he faded a little bit. The movement wasn't as fluid. He traded shots with him from the inside and got caught. His head movement was good, but I'm thinking to myself, man, you got to move the body as well too, change angles so you're not just a sitting duck right there and an easy target to hit. In this rematch, I'd love to see him use more feints to try to get his shots a little bit clearer and land some more flush shots. I'd like to see him mix up his attacks. I just felt like in this previous fights, he was a little bit predictable and you could kind of tell what shots was coming, and you don't want to be predictable in the ring at all times. Sometimes it can work to your advantage, right? Where one fighter is preparing for this person and you get into the ring and you show similar flashes, but then you show other things as well too that they didn't train for. I just don't want him to be predictable with his attack. Let's talk about Donnie Nietes, right? Donnie hasn't technically lost the fight since 2004, which is like crazy when you think about it, right? How durable his reign has been. There probably isn't anything that Nietes hasn't seen before at this point in his career. He's patient. He's not going to force something that's not there. He knows he's got time, and he knows if he takes his time, eventually those openings will come. Donnie is a very good inside fighter. His legs aren't as fluid and as quick as they used to be, which is okay because he's almost 41 and he isn't trying to waste a lot of energy with good movement. But if you're right there in front of him, he can gauge your energy, gain your speed. He can gauge your timing. It gives him more control if it's an inside fight because he doesn't have to move as much and his legs won't get tired going into the other rounds. But if he's right there in front of you, as they were a big portion of the fight in the first one, then I would have to think that in that position that he would have the upper hand, because I would think he would use his experiences to try to find the right angles and positions. In Donnie Nietes' last fight, I thought he won that fight. I know it was a draw, but I didn't think it was a draw. But I also noticed that his shot volume slowed down quite a bit. And he just looked a touch slower in every areas to me. And that's something to take into mind. And I think he knows that. A lot of times we don't want to hear that a person's age is because what they're slowing down. But in sports, right, it's very few people who are able to move forward and to continue to progress as they are aging. A lot of times they slow down just a little bit. It doesn't mean that they can't operate at an elite level. It just means that they're slowing down a little bit because Father Time is undefeated. But here's the great thing about great athletes is they know that. They know their bodies. If you are in tune with your body, you know what things are leaving you a little bit, but you know the strengths of what is still there. And I think in this fight, right, I think Donnie will try and close the gap early in this fight and trying to make it an inside fight, right? But I think he's going to change levels and mix up his approach. You might see him throw some feints 1 second, but then you might get caught with a lunging uppercut or an overhand right. Yeah, he's 40 years old, but he's still explosive enough to make you pay when there's an opening and an opportunity for him to take advantage of it, right? So in this fight, I think it's going to go similar to the first one, except I think Ioka is going to be a little bit more defensively sound, and I think he's going to try to outbox Nietes from the outside instead of trying to bang with him right inside the pocket. If he can stay on the outside and use his movement and the jab and slip in with the 1-2 and slip out, he'll have his way. But if he goes in with the same game plan as he did the first time, I think the result may be similar. He may be able to withstand the storm this time, but I think he can really control this one if he decides to fight from the outside and just put on a boxing display and not trying to be a brawler in this fight. So I have Ioka winning this fight by decision. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you have winning this one? Let me know in the comment section below. If you would like to support the channel, there are a couple ways that you can do so. You can like, comment, subscribe. If you would like to support the channel by way of donation, you can find the options in the description below. I will also have my Cash App handle on screen. Any amount goes a long way in moving this channel forward. I appreciate everyone that has tuned in the past couple weeks. Your support truly does go a long way, and I really like the interaction that we've been able to have in the community that I feel like we are creating. So with that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, then do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.